Hey, I have to tell you something. I think I have thrips. More than one thrip. Let me explain how I came to this conclusion. I was noticing scarring on all of my grapes. This second crop of grapes that I'm getting. I was getting them on my Camminare Noir. I was finding them on my Ambulo Blanc. Here we have it on the Blanc Du Bois. And I have some late Cowarts. And a few of them also have this problem. And we can focus on that. These are damaged. And then I got some that are okay. If I can focus on those. These are okay. And then these look like they're going to be okay, but I still see some damage. So when I looked up scarring on grapes, the first thing that comes up is fungus. And yes, I saw a few leaves with some signs of fungus on them. But the photos they were showing did not look like this when it came to fungus. I could not find any photos that looked like this. They all looked like, fungus. Whitish and severely damaged and rotten grapes is what I was seeing. Also across the board on all of my varieties, including the muscadines, I was getting this. And some varieties are more resistant to fungus than others, especially the muscadines. So why would I be getting this on everything? I finally went away from looking at fungus photos and just looked into general damage of grapes, and I came across some photos that looked like what I was having, finally. And it mentioned that they were the victim of thrips. Now, yes, that made sense, except I wasn't seeing any. However, after I noticed a couple of my leaves that had fungus on them, I sprayed my fungicide. And right after, I did find two little millimeter-sized insects. And they're never around when you need them because I can't find any right now. So maybe the fungicide got rid of those as well. Maybe it had some effect. But I can't find them anymore, but I did find a few. And I'm going to have to show a picture of what they look like. But they're these tiny, tiny insects, and they have their butts in the air. And I did find some. I just can't prove it right now, so I got to show a photo from somewhere else. And I was getting some damage to other plants. And I am told that thrips can damage pretty much any sort of plant or fruit. And so this is what I'm leaning towards, is a case of the thrips. Now, I haven't sprayed insecticide yet because I wanted to actually catch a couple on my video here, but they seem to be gone. But I'm going to start spraying. And the thing about the end of the harvest season, you just sort of, well, the tendency is to kind of be over with your grape maintenance, and that's not a good idea because the need for maintenance continues. And I'm glad that I'm learning this lesson with this second crop of grapes and not my first crop next year. That would be a hard lesson, and I would have a lot of damaged grapes. These might still be edible, and I'm going to find out. I have some that are undercover under these bags. They do have damage. Let me take some out. I'm going to have to get my hand free here. This batch of Camminare Noir was a little ahead of my others in the second batch, and so obviously they're more ripe. and they have some of that damage on them, but it's less. So I'm becoming a big fan of these bags for my area here, even though I do need to spray more. Bags are a big pain, but they might be the way to go if I'm in this kind of environment. I'm not going to make wine with these, I'm just going to eat them. So I might pull them off and just enjoy them as is. But even these have some damage on them. Just not as severe as these. So maybe the nets are a bit of a hindrance to these little critters, even though they are tiny. They could get through there, but maybe they just move on to the easier pickings. There's really nothing that can be done about this. If I take one of these off, the scarring can be scraped off easily, but there's no way I'm going to do that for every grape. So we're going to see how ugly these turn out in the future. I'll probably start covering them if I get raison on these. I mean, I can live with them just for eating or making wine if it's not too offensive, but we're going to see what happens. These Ambulo Blanc were also under the cover, and they do have some scarring, but I think it's less scarring. So that's an interesting observation. I think that these individual nets here do deter them a little bit, is what I'm thinking. I don't want to rely on that though, so I'm just going to be a little more diligent about my spray regimen. And move on. I'm really glad that this happened, because I was getting complacent. I was moving on to other things. I have other work to do around here besides messing with grapes, but it's good to know about this before next year when the real season starts. This is just, like I said, it's the second crop, and it's kind of experimental, and it's a good wake-up call for what can happen. I didn't even really think, it wasn't on a short list of anything that I was researching, but it's out there, and even the Texas grape guys weren't giving it a lot of attention, and it seems to be doing quite a number on the grapes around here. So it's good to know about it, and I'm going to have a more disciplined regimen for spray for both fungus and insecticide, and not have this affect my crop in the future. Anyway, that's it. Quick update on my continuing grape saga here.